Ladies and gentlemen, or should I say shadows of my past, today we don't shout, we don't roar. Today we weaponize the quiet dot. Silence. That's the language of power, a force that speaks louder than 1,000 screams. In a world addicted to noise, gossip, lies, accusations, they try to wound you with their sharp little words. They think their daggers will pierce your soul. But when you respond with silence, you do something they can't comprehend. You unsettle them. You strip away their illusion of control. They crave your reaction. They feed on your outrage. And when you deny them, oh, they spiral into chaos. You've seen it, haven't you? The panic in their eyes when you don't take the bait. When you don't argue, don't explain, don't defend yourself. That's when they realize your silence isn't surrender, it's strategy. It's a fortress of restraint, a declaration of self-mastery. They mistake your stillness for weakness, but here's the truth: the quiet ones, the ones who hold their tongue while the storm rages around them, are the most dangerous. Silence isn't empty. It's a weapon loaded with precision, ready to strike when the moment is right. You've built yourself from it, forged in the fires of restraint, tempered by self-control. Their words, like stones hurled at a mountain, don't make you flinch. They shout louder, desperate to crack you open, but they don't realize you're unbreakable. Silence isn't submission, it's power, raw, unshakable, divine. The world fears what it cannot understand, and nothing is more terrifying than a person who answers chaos with calm. When you stop explaining yourself, when you refuse to stoop to their level, you declare with every unspoken word, I owe you nothing. That truth shatters them, because their existence is tied to your validation. Your silence is their undoing. They thrive on attention, and you've starved them of it. Every scream, every insult, every desperate jab they throw is a confession of their own insecurity. Without your reaction, they're powerless. And while they waste their breath, you watch. You calculate. You plan. Their noise blinds them, but your silence sharpens you. You gather their words, every insult they hurl, as ammunition for the moment you choose to act. Because when that moment comes, it will be devastating. Silence isn't passive, it's controlled fury. It's the calm before the storm. The stillness that shakes the ground beneath their feet. The louder they get, the stronger you become. They're unraveling, caught in a web of their own noise, while you stand unshaken, untouchable. They think your quiet is inaction, but it's preparation. Every second you refuse to speak is a second they spend unraveling. When you finally choose to speak, it won't be a scream. It will be a whisper that cuts like a blade, a word that carries the weight of 1,000 storms. One sentence from you will destroy their illusions, their arrogance, their fragile egos. Silence is not just a shield, it's a weapon they will never see coming. Let them talk, let them shout, let them burn themselves out in their own chaos. Your silence will haunt them. It will make them question everything they thought they knew. You are the calm after the storm, the eerie stillness that terrifies them more than any roar. And when the noise dies, when the dust settles, you'll still be standing silent, powerful, unstoppable. Your silence isn't the end. It's the beginning of something greater. It's a monument to strength, a temple of resilience. Let them wonder. Let them fear. Let them destroy themselves trying to understand what they cannot control. And when the time is right, when you rise, they won't stand a chance. So tell me, what's louder? Their empty noise, or your silence that echoes for eternity? And here's the beauty of silence. It's not just absence, it's presence. It's the kind of presence that dominates a room without a single word. It's the unspoken power that makes people pause, second guess, and falter. You don't have to scream to make an impact. Your silence says everything. It says, I see through you. It says, you are irrelevant. It says, I have nothing to prove to you because my existence speaks for itself. They want to provoke you because your reaction feeds their delusions of control. But when you deny them, when you stand there calm and composed, it shatters their fragile sense of dominance. They will never admit it, but your silence terrifies them. Why? Because they can't predict you. They can't twist your words, can't manipulate your actions. You've taken away their power and left them with nothing but their own insecurities to wrestle with. And that's the ultimate game changer. Your silence becomes their mirror. In it, they see the truth they've been running from: their noise, their chaos, their desperation. It reflects their weakness, their fear, their inability to control you. And that reflection? It's unbearable. They'll claw at the void, trying to fill the silence with more noise, but the louder they get, the emptier they feel. Let them spiral. Let them drown in the chaos they've created. While they unravel, you're building. While they flail, you're evolving. They think you're standing still, but in reality, you're positioning yourself for the inevitable moment when your silence becomes action. And when that moment comes, it won't be subtle. It will be undeniable. One move. That's all it will take. One calculated action will dismantle everything they've constructed out of their noise. The world will stop and take notice, not because you shouted, but because you acted. They will realize, far too late, that your silence was never weakness. It was your greatest strength. So stand firm, stand tall. Let your silence echo louder than their screams ever could. You don't need their validation. You don't need their approval. Your silence is your declaration, your legacy, your unyielding force. And when the dust settles, when the noise fades, they'll finally understand your silence wasn't the absence of power, it was the embodiment of it. And in the end, it won't be their noise that's remembered. It will be your silence.